Oh gosh, what a wild ride. Well, I can immediately do some mapping. And the legacy system is interesting. Each game is its own story, but some characters appear in a reoccurring way. That's very fun. That is, I think, part of what I had heard before about, yeah, the kind of immersive storytelling that it manages to progress with. That's super cool. This is a perfect time to join the stream. Good time to watch either success or deep death. Indeed. It will end one way or another right away here. Ideally, in the positive, but never know. Thanks, Brain, for the hydrate reminder as well. Definitely important to keep on our toes here. Stay aware, not to get myself into too stupid of a situation here. To do so, we need to stay hydrated. Keep those synapses firing. I'm glad to take care of the shifter on their own, of course, not having to deal with too much encircling nonsense. Unfortunately, this is a pretty horrible floor of Zot for us. Not very many places that we can reduce the number of enemies that we're facing down. No hallways, which is, of course, the hallmark positional advantage that we're looking for in this kind of game. Let's get rid of that berserker right away. And, okay, not too bad. We just had to summon in one friend through our Lord and Savior McLeb here. I can never decide if I want to say McLeb or Macleb. Anyone else have strong opinions about that? I think I kind of vacillate back and forth depending on the day, depending on how the mouth feel is. Okie dokie. Let's slow it down, shall we? And in fact, I was just complaining a bit ago about how there are no good corridors. There's one right here, kind of. A little conditional, to say the least, especially if we keep getting blinked around like mad people thanks to that spatial warper. But hey, it is what it is, and we're at least still in a better position than we have been previously. On Zot 1, I'm curious why the Zot 1 fight went so much worse, when this one has a lot of the same components. In fact, worse components in terms of all of these corrosive buddies hitting us at once. We're still doing slightly better overall. It's a curious world we live in, I guess. Also, stop that. Sir, stop that. Yes, it's the purple draconians that are scary because we have no resistance to them, so they're hitting full power, no matter what. It's maybe something I should have considered, but I'm just gonna chug back curing potions. Taking that hydrate not only literally in real life, but also for a character in game. Allows us to save the heal wounds potions for a more drastic situation, and instead just participate in a bit of that. I think I just saw have a distortion weapon, correct? You do indeed. So switch to javelins immediately for this son of a gun. And dang it, should have been focusing you down a little bit more consistently. Was not doing a great job at doing so, even after mentioning the importance of it. Good stuff. Again, do what I say, not as I do. Very important life lesson to take in if you want to watch our stream here, because I will do many stupid things over the course of a run, but I'm usually at least saying stuff that makes a bit more sense. I like to think so, at least. Okay, and let's take these bad boys on a little bit of a trip here. Bring them back this way. Perfect. Oh gosh, never mind. Right. That's a thing we gotta be careful of. So I'm gonna take out purple draconian first. Then I kind of like having the green buddy next to us to prevent damnation strikes from coming in. I would like to take out said damnation friend. Perfect. Off to bed. Good luck with the rest of the run. Thank you so much, Brain. Thanks again for raiding on by. I always appreciate seeing you around. But have a great night. Hope to talk to you more in the future. So very much appreciate that you're constantly reigniting my desire to get Wildermyth. Maybe one day it'll happen. You find the first and last levels of branches to be more difficult just due to the fact of less escape and evade options in terms of stairs. Definitely. Well, and that's why I felt like I had to make a stand and take care of the Draconian pack when we first entered Zot. Versus now it's definitely, yeah, a bit easier to always run away if things get too scurry. At least as long as we're able to. Fortunately, delayed teleports make it a little bit harder to do an outright just jump from the vicinity whatsoever, but still, all things considered, going all right. And as long as, yeah, it seems like no purple draconians and not too many damnation friends, we're doing okay here. As I'm starting to, again, lose my voice just a tiny bit. Like, I keep catching in my throat. But, again, should just take sips of my drink. That's probably the answer there. Not only keep ourselves hydrated and fully aware, but on top of that, can keep the throat in working order for these longer streams. As we come about towards the end of the run, again, one way or another, gotta end soon. I'm just hoping it's in the positive sense. Hello, friends. Let's bring in a friend of my own right away, just to make sure that we don't get caught up into a horrifying of a situation here. I think that was also a main problem that I had on our first entrance into Zot, is I wasn't being very proactive. Super reactive, but not enough summoning of friends before things got into a messy situation. Instead of just relying on the run to sort itself out, largely due to the fact that we've had such a strong run up until this point that I almost feel like I'm able to tab my way through every fight. But Zot is never to be taken lightly. To do so is one's own folly. Okie dokie. At least there are nice hallways in this map, or this level of Zot, I should say. Much more straightforward to bring our friends back into a bit more of the standardized 1v1. Not too bad. And nice. Zot 3 through in relatively short order. Let's keep reading these magic mappings, making sure we have a bit of an awareness as to what's going on around us. We have couple of decent points to try and reduce enemies to one-on-ones still. Not as fantastic as the hallways of above, but hey, we take what we can get, right? Let's just keep it going here. In fact, there are quite a few hallways now that we're actually exploring the level. I've already seen 2 fully true 1v1 sections, which is good. We have to retreat back. There is definitely a good direction to go, as I immediately have been able to go back to just tabbing through enemies. Just being cognizant and aware, I guess, of which Draconians are on the screen. Any phase shifters or annihilators. Want to be hyper aware and ready to shift out, along with too many purple Draconians. Because again, Quicksilver does not, or is not, a resistance that we're able to acquire. Not too bad. That should be just about the whole area. I don't need to go into the Fire Pit of Doom by any stretch of the imagination. Don't see why I would. And so, holy crap, it's that easy. There's Zot 4 down. And it's time for the grand old finale. Our favorite section of all. And let's see how she goes, shall we? Where we start right next to the lungs, it looks like. Holy cow, okay. I mean, I'll take it. It is what it is. But let's read a magic mapping here. And normally I'd drop no-go zone, no fly area right there. So let's find a different stairwell, shall we? Let's clear the rest of the level first. And then we may or may not try and do some strategic luring here. We'll see how it goes. Need to be a little bit cautious doing so, of course. Again, I've definitely found myself in regrettable situations in the past due to hubris, as it were. Doing our best to avoid falling into the same pitfalls as previous iterations. So that's why we play this game, right? Each death should be an opportunity to learn and ideally get slightly better, less likely to fall prey to that same issue in the future. You're always surprised at how much jabs and boomerangs do in terms of damage, I'm guessing. No, they are super powerful. Like, and our throwing skill is at 18 now, so it's getting up there. This is about the stage where you start to, yeah, see the huge, sharp increase in just how much hurt you can lay down with each and every one of these throwing things. I know from my side, like javelins, I've always known javelins are great. It makes sense. It's the best way. You know, you don't have a smite target as a melee buddy, so it's nice to have javelins to take out those pesky little summoners. But what I always forget is just how powerful boomerangs themselves are. Like, we're able to actually take on most of the enemies even at this stage in the game with just a few errant pieces of flimsy wood. It's pretty sweet. Should also do a quick scan of what kind of traps we're dealing with today. Okay, lots of alarms in the bottom lung. That's good to know. Less alarms on the right, but a lot of Zot traps. And it's nice to also always know where your permanent teleportation traps are, because those are one of the better ways to get out of there in a tizzy. In fact, having 2 down here is awesome, because alarm traps are all there, but fortunately, so is an escape, if things start to get hairy. Though, of course, as we've learned many times in the past, not a guaranteed escape by any stretch of the imagination. One can hope, but things get a little bit hairy sometimes, to say the very least. And some more wands of digging. Very nice to see. That will come in handy mostly for the orb run itself, in my experience, but in general it will. Is that probably Lahudibs or something? You son of a... Ooh, and then Tits Metals. Tits Middles, I guess is the better way to pronounce that, are always scary because they do have the ability to dispel undead. So that's one of the few constants that we have with a normal run. Tits Middles, still scary, regardless of our Torment immunity. But not too bad. Able to take out the Summoner first, which you love to see. It's also just try and draw enemies to us. As we're able to use this corridor as much as possible, I would love to do so. In fact, should maybe make some liberal use of yield yelling. Just a few turns. Wait around. Switch over to boomerangs. Not that much attention, eh? I was hoping. Normally I don't bother to do those yells, but just based on how I've been burned recently in a couple of the past runs, I was definitely interested in trying it out. So vertigo. Interesting. Don't often get vertigo, I'll tell you that much. Should also probably be resorting to just our javelins now. We're getting close to the stage in the game where there's almost no reason to be holding on to them. We are very unlikely to mulch our way through 36 javelins in short order. Not that it couldn't happen, so I will switch to Boomerang against the Moth of Wrath, but anything stronger, any Killer Clowns, any Orb Guardians even, why not just simplify things? Let's not make ourselves worry unnecessarily here, shall we? And do it you two, except what I would like to do is get out of sight of that alarm trap. Perfect. The less time we can spend in sight range of that bad boy, the better. Here we go. Time to measure up against some orbs of fire. Oh, maybe not. Are you gonna see us, friend? There we go. Oh, perfect. Thank you so much, Railbird. Short-lived status, 3/6 turn, caused by Alistair's intoxication. Okay, so it's the same as that. Decreased evasion, increased spellcaster failure, decreased accuracy. Good to know. Thank you so much for going through with that. I know in the past I've tried to get the Twitch bot onto our page here, but it's been a while since I went to I think that's Lomla bot, right? I think you told me about that one as well, Railbird, a while back. May have to bring that back around at some point, get used to figuring out how exactly it operates. Oh, and there we go. Now we get the acid effect, of course. Well, let's switch over to Might. Try and just take this buddy out in a short order here, shall we? Not actually too bad. Last time we had haste as well, but turns out not completely necessary to be running both. Can take it a little bit easy here. And now I want to use the F period throws because I wanted to not lose too many of my javelins up north there. We'll probably be able to explore this entire chamber before the end, but on the off chance that things get a little hairy, I want them in slightly closer reach than that. Perfect. If the summoner wants to come right up to us, even with the summon or dispel undead, hits the middle next to us, I'm more than happy to just keep swinging. Okay, this is going too well, and I'm very scared. What's the game going to throw at me around the corner, you know? Pick up our javelins. Make sure we don't let this buddy step into a Zot trap unnecessarily. That'd be nice. These buddies definitely deal a decent amount of damage, but as long as we're able to take them on one by one, not too bad. Oh my gosh. Wait, that was this entire side of the lungs? No. Okay, we're not out of it yet. Let's haste up here. I need to take out this Lich before they keep throwing Lahudibs our direction. That's no good whatsoever. One of the few things that truly causes us to be in immense danger still. Okay. I'm very suspicious. This can't keep up. There's no way our orb run goes this smoothly. Or not even orb run, I should say, but our Zot 5, right? It's just nonsensical. But this is interesting. There's the permanent teleport trap there, so nobody can come at us from the right. I almost always do the teleport trick where we read a scroll of teleport now, and then we use that to ride our way closer to a stairwell. But I'm tempted to not do it this time. Huh. Wild stuff. Of course, if I don't do it now, this is where I'll run into a bunch of pan lords on my way out, knowing my luck, but at the end of the day, we have a lot of solutions to that. We can put a lot of bodies in the way, at the very least, because I expected to use all 7 summoning scrolls just to get here. So let's not be silly about this, shall we? I'm gonna take this bad boy. Anyone who tries to come at us should hit that teleport trap. I guess if we're not in sight, it doesn't quite have the same effect, right? That is true, but B0. Here we go, and they're off. A cherub, hey? That's not great. Anything holy? Not what I'm looking for right now. It's glowing falchion. You're not even going to tell me what its falchion does, eh, game? That's cool. Well, there we go. Scimitar flaming. Okay, that's better. That was weird that I had it showing up as just glowing on this screen. It must have been in a weird middle zone before our character fully identified it. That's not how that's supposed to work. Wacky stuff. Anyway, let us go with the Scroll of Summoning. Ah, because it's you. Oh, hello, Seraph. That's fun. Do I try and fight you? Holy fire is going to hurt real bad. I don't want to. I really don't want to. I'm guessing you're all immune to torment too, right? Probably. Immune to negative energy. Yeah, that makes sense. What's my best solution here? We could do a couple of blinks. Another option here is to actually just back up, let them come our way. Then I'm going to read a scroll of teleport, wait 1-2 turns, step into this teleport trap, and you'll see why I did so in a second here. Okay, step into this teleport trap, because if we end up somewhere like this, I wanted to teleport already acting on us to hopefully take us out here. Perfect. If we had ended up in a promising place after that first teleport trap, we of course would have just read another teleport scroll and canceled the effect completely. But that works out perfectly. Hell Sentinel, sir. This is another summon scroll if I ever saw one. Moving slowly here as well. Let's make sure that we don't get killed off in some stupid fashion by damnation, but can use our friends as a bit of an opportunity to rest up as long as we possibly can at the bottom of a stair, and then we'll pop up. Let's go, go, go. Oh, hello, friends. More friends. Would you look at that? Lord of Pan. We could try and fight you. you're probably actually not a bad one to fight. If I want to do my let's kill one Panlord on our way up, you can read Telly to cancel Telly. You can indeed. Yeah, it's super useful if you end up finding yourself in a regrettable situation. But no, a Telly scroll will cancel out a current teleportation, which is awesome. I think it even works for the Naga that can cast it. I think that you can actually cancel that one out as well using your own scrolls, which is sweet. Definitely a little bit cheaper of a trade than, yeah, cancellation potion for sure. Is there any reason that I actually stay around and fight you besides my own pride? I mean, you don't have a chaos hit. Bolt of Draining ain't got nothing on me. Let's even mirror you. Let's do another Scroll of Summoning just for funsies. Yeah, I'm feeling good about this. In fact, I'm going to toss on a Haste. I'm going to toss on a Might. And let's do one more check. 55% chance to evade us. Ain't no shot. So no reason for us to do this again, but I do love to kill one Panlord. It's a sense of pride, you know? You gotta show them what's what. And in fact, we did so. Perfect. Make sure they know who's really in control here. I know they might be chasing us through the dungeon, but as I'm so fond of saying, they can just go suck it. Gotta teach Pan what's what. Onwards and upwards. Could try occasionally here to slip in a little bit of a dig. I mean, unfortunately here it's all hard stone, so this is actually a really tough floor for us. There's only one way out, and there's no shortcuts to it. So we might have to fight whatever we come across. Ah, never mind. Apparently it's just going to be an absolute breeze. No problems whatsoever. Silly old me. Let's just keep her going. Ah, it's metal. Get out. No problems. Again, that is one that is normally a little bit freakier, if just because they become a pain in the butt with the ability to dispel our very state of being. But at the end of the day, can't catch what they can't see, right? Onwards and upwards. Keep wanting to take a sip of my drink, but I'm getting interrupted by all these dang spawns. Just a few Orb Guardians, ain't no thing. We have far too many resources that we haven't used up to this stage in the game. Aw, dang it, inert. I was just gonna use that box of beasts for funsies. Well, I guess we just fight these buddies normal. Oh, let's call him McCleb for one last time. That'd be fun. Get a couple of friends involved. Nice. You know, we gotta give thanks to what brought us here. Make sure that real recognizes real and all that. Show McCleb where our heart is at. And D4. As soon as I saw the Ash Altar, I knew we were getting close because I remembered that bad boy. And we're just about there. And in fact, let's just walk the rest of the way, shall we? Not too bad here. So we lost a couple of ghouls, unfortunately, in the journey today, but hey, did it all in one day, and that's fantastic. Always glad to be able to get the win the same day that we start up with the species at the very least. And as mentioned once previously on the run, it truly is a situation of when it rains, it pours, because in this run, we have all the tools at our disposal. I mean, the early Gold Dragon Scales was awesome, but if we just go to our consumables alone, Scrolls of Blinking, even though I was burning them like candy at one point, still have 4 of them. Same with like 10 Scrolls of Fear, still 3 Scrolls of Summoning that I was expecting to use, and our potions alone, 11 heal wounds, 6 haste, ridiculous. I could have maybe even made it through another Dungeon of Zot, all things considered. But at the end of the day, we are looking for wins here, not getting cocky and getting ourselves killed in stupid situations. So with that in mind, let's take our win, shall we? It's funny that I go through our inventory, but we get a screen that does just that in a second. But thank you so much for the GGs in chat. Very much appreciate the support and cheering along the way, making sure that I do keep that focus that we were talking about earlier in the run, because that is, of course, the main source of death in this game is just losing focus, stopping paying attention. And absolutely love to see it. We'll even see where this character lands on the list here with Spook Dog, always going to be at the top. Not bad whatsoever here. Love to see it. Oops, as I completely quit out of the game with a double escape. Let us bring that bad boy back up here, shall we? Because... and bring it over here. There we go. Wanted to take another look at what the plan is for the future here. Because, yeah, very happy to get past Ghoul, but was feeling pretty confident about it. They do have just so many stacked resistances right from the start. They are one of my favorite characters to run through just because of that. Them and Gargoyles, way up there just in terms of survivability, especially in the mid game where you're often lacking in a lot of these resources and, you know, struggling with each and every step. Of course, this Ghoul in particular with Spook Dog took that to the absolute extreme of all things, because at the end of the run there, we had every kind of resistance just up the wazoo, no matter what we did, like just organically. We weren't having to switch between rings depending on what enemies we were fighting and stuff like that, and instead just got to breeze through it with only my own stupidity to get in our way. And fortunately, didn't manage to do so too much this time around, and we got through with another victory, which I'm always happy to see. Next up, it will be gnolls, and gnolls are, for a totally different reason than the previous two species I just mentioned, one of my favorites in the game, because they are the full-on generalists. Don't even have to look for aptitudes on these sons of guns, because they're just equally amazing at everything. And the gimmick of them, if you haven't played one before, is that all of your skills are constantly turned on. So throughout the entire course of the run, you'll just be slowly and gradually gaining in power. It allows you to fully just switch between any weapon that you find based on when you want to use it, what kind of artifacts you find. And on top of that, if you can bring a gnoll to the late game, and especially the extended game, they'll be able to cast any spell in the entire world. So much like, or in regards to what Railbird was mentioning earlier with Sif Muna, you can imagine a Sif Muna gnoll would be a lot of fun because you have no limits as to what spells you can cast as long as you get to that stage in the game and have all the experience allocated. And instead you're free to just mix and match, experiment, and fool around with whatever you'd like to see. Waiting for Kobold Hexer? Maybe. We'll have to decide next week. Even though if anyone has suggestions, definitely go ahead and throw them out now, and we'll definitely take them into consideration when we pop in the future here. Looking forward to Diet Human. Indeed, yeah, the generalists, usually humans, but in this game, the true generalists are, of course, gnolls, the scavengers of the dungeon. It makes sense because they are the ones who rule dungeon floors like 2 through 4. They are the main pack animals of the area at the very least. But yeah, excited to hop into them. It won't be next week, because next week I'm actually going to be out of town completely because I'm getting married. So, unfortunately, there will be no stream. There will be tons of videos going over to YouTube if you managed or happen to miss out on any of our previous runs. Those will be going up throughout the entire week that I'm gone. But we will be taking actually a couple weeks off here because, yeah, very excited to go get married and then go off on a little bit of a mini honeymoon as much as we can in the current state of the world and all that, as well as our current state of our wallets, of course. But as much as I regret to not be around for those weeks, because I do so enjoy these sessions and especially the interaction with chat, so fantastic, love it every single time, I will say that I am very much more excited to step into the next stage of our lives here with me and my partner. So yeah, we'll have a couple weeks off here where we won't be playing, and then when we come back into it, jumping into one of our old favorites here with Noel, and very excited to see them come up. Thanks again to everyone in chat for the congratulations for the run, congratulations on the marriage now, thank you guys so much, or thank you all so much I should say, as well as just the support throughout the entire run, throughout the entirety of all the runs, even if you're not actively here watching right now or every minute of every run. Still appreciate a whole lot just dropping in, dropping out, watching on YouTube, wherever you're supporting from. It means a whole lot to me and absolutely love to see it. And yeah, we will have one final stream before we head out on Wednesday. So if you want to come in for one final high, that will be on Wednesday here, where we will most likely be playing a little bit of Life is Strange. I'm not going to blank on it this time. Last week on Sunday, I couldn't remember the name of the game for the life of me, but today I remembered. I think we're going to continue Life is Strange onwards from Chapter 2 because I very much enjoyed Chapter 1 last Wednesday. Enjoyed the game itself as well as just chatting along with some of you lovely folks as well. So we will be back then, but if not, it will be, a few weeks here. And we'll be back in with good old DCSS trying to get our unofficial Great Player achievement here offline, which I'm having a whole lot of fun with still. Before I do my usual full sign off here, I should do a quick check to see who's online right now, because we will be finding somebody to raid here. Keep spreading the love as much as we possibly can. In fact, if we take a look, seems like it's always Crim who's on, so we will be sending some love Crim's way. That's Crimson Spartan here. They are currently playing Bloodstained Ritual, which I haven't actually checked out. Last I saw they were playing through Grime, which I very much enjoyed, but they play a lot of roguelikes and a lot of games in general, so we'll spread some love on that way. Keep it ongoing. I hope you all stick around for that because Crim is a great content creator as well. Super chill, very much similar vibes to what people tell me my stream is. I don't like to assume too much, call myself chill, but it seems to be the general reason why most people are gravitated this way is for the kind of low energy, nice, relaxing stream. So definitely stick around for that. Thanks again to everyone for all the love and support. And in fact, over the last week here, or since my last stream on Wednesday, I managed to hit 100 followers. So when I come back from the happiness and celebration of marriage, we'll be continuing to celebrate a little bit by probably throwing in a fun stream somewhere. My first guess is that I might try and go for a 15 rune win over a couple of streams even. That might be a good way to celebrate 100 followers, because I know a lot of our followers here on Twitch did come from DCSS. It's one of the few games that has really good what's the word I'm looking for? An ease to gaining followers and stuff, because not many people stream it, and yet it's still relatively popular. And I enjoy seeing all the new faces each and every day that we hop on here. So we'll have to think about that and maybe fit that in somewhere after I come back. But regardless, appreciate you all so much for sticking around and watching me through the fantastic journey that we've taken so far. Almost through Simple, and then we'll be a third of the way done, which is incredible. Definitely happy to see it. So for the fourth, fifth time here, thanks again to all you lovely folks. If you did enjoy and you aren't already, I definitely appreciate a follow here on Twitch, and you'll also be notified whenever we go live, especially for when we try and fit in special events like the 100 follower, potentially 15 rune. I don't want to promise that too much, but I think that would be fun and a good excuse to do so as well, and things like that. If you enjoy what you've seen so far and want to see more while I'm gone on vacation here, definitely head over to our YouTube channel and see some of our previous runs and how we've managed to fare throughout all of the previous iterations of the Simple column here, besides Palantonga, which will be slotted in at the end because we started in a completely different version. But regardless of that complete outflow of random words and verbal diarrhea, as I like to always call it, I do definitely hope that each and every one of you is having a great morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you out there. And I definitely hope to see you around in the future, whether that be on our Wednesday stream coming up here or in a couple or a few Sundays from now when we're hopping back into the thick of things. I appreciate you all a whole bunch. Thanks for all the love and love you all back. See you around in the future. See ya.